Hello, everybody. I'm coming today, and I have a young lady that I'm going to bring up, and she's going to talk to us about her book she wrote, Power Over Pain. And I'm going to, hi, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Could you tell everybody your name and tell us a little, tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay. My name is Tawana Sampson, known as Kyrie's, and I was born in Rocky Mount, North Carolina. I'm a Valentine's Day baby, a small Valentine's Day baby still, but I moved to Greensboro, North Carolina after the flood in 1999. I'm a mother of five. I'm an activist. I love people, and right now I am working on a movie about my life. And I just wanted to share this book with you guys because I feel like this book can make an impact in your life because it was based on a near death experience. So that's why I wrote Power Over Pain 100 Healing and Motivational Quotes.
Okay, where can we find this book?
You can buy this book. You can actually listen to it on Audible. The ebook is available on Amazon. You can also purchase the hard copy book from Amazon, Barnes and Nobles.
So, what happened in your life that made you want to write this book?
Well, I had a near death experience that left me disabled. So one day I just like began to just write quotes. I love quotes. And one day I just began to write quotes and it turned into this book. And also just to give somebody a quick outlet to lift their spirits and be motivated very quick.
Okay, so you said you can experience a life and death. Life and death. What type of tragedy did you experience?
In 2012, I suffered from a severe brain injury. And I have to say severe behind everything because it was severe. Severe depression, severe PTSD, and severe anxiety, as well as the severe brain injury.
So, were you in a car accident or?
No, I wasn't in a car accident. I was brutally assaulted.
Oh wow. Okay, so it was more of a domestic violence situation.
No, it wasn't a domestic violence situation.
Okay, you say you was brutally assaulted. Um, could you elaborate a little more on that? Is that okay?
Yes, I was brutally assaulted by law enforcement.
Okay. Could you tell us what happened?
So Kyrie's is my stage name. I sing and write songs. Been doing it for a long time. Um, and I had came from the studio on March the 10th, 2012. Um, and it's kind of crazy because I had got home and was listening to what would I had just recorded in the studio, and a crime van came to my house saying they thought that I was in a hit and run. Of course, it wasn't me. Um, so the police department pulled up because that's what they do sometimes, and I come to find out I forgot to go to traffic court. So that's why I was even down there. That's why I was detained.
So they detained you because you forgot to go to traffic court and they pulled you in. They wanted to take you into custody because you missed a court date.
Right. I forgot to go to traffic court.
Okay, and while they were handcuffing you, were you driving and or did they just pop up at your house?
No, I had a Suburban, and my Suburban had some dents, and I think I had my Suburban for over 10 years. And they came. This was the crime van. This was not the police department. The crime van came up to my house and said, "Oh, we think your car was in an accident." And I'm like, "Huh? I'm being back here listening to my music." Which they tried to file on my insurance and everything, but the insurance did not pay out because guess why? It wasn't me. So in the meantime of that, the police pulls up and asks me for my name. I had no problem giving the officer my name. And when he ran my name, he said, "Do you know you missed court for a traffic court?" And I agreed with him and told him I knew I had to, be detained.
Okay, and so they took you downtown for missing traffic
Yes.
for it.
Yes.
Wow. Okay,
Yes,
and
for traffic court.
okay, so when were you assaulted? On your way going into jail or while you was down there?
No, actually, I was in the elevator with four officers, and you can actually see the video if you look up Tawana Sampson, Guilford County Jail. You be the judge. If you type all of that in, or you probably could just type my name, Tawana Sampson, Guilford County Jail. You'll see how unusual that situation played itself out. But we got in the elevator, and I asked the officer, "Where's the female?" Because I felt very uncomfortable with all of them in there because you know it just didn't feel right. And so the
Mhm.
officer had words with me, and of course I had some words back to him. He was like, "You're the criminal," and I said, "Whatever happened to being not guilty before being proven guilty?" And if you look at the video, if you look at that video real good, you'll see an officer standing behind him while he's facing me talking. So when the elevator door opens and the other officer tells me to come out, I'm going out. Of course, he's still facing me. I don't even know if he know the door opened up. I don't even know if he know what was going on around him. But I was going out the door, and the officer slammed my head against the steel elevator wall.
Oh gosh. Mm. Probably in part two, we're gonna play that video. So this is part one for anybody that want to see the video. Part two, she's gonna come back and we're gonna play the video and elaborate on that video. But today we're gonna probably stick closely to the book. So after this incident happened, that's what made you write this book.
Well, not right after, because this was in 2012. I actually wrote the book. It took me 3 years to write the book, and not so much because I couldn't write the book. I just didn't really have it in me to write the book. But
Correct.
but yeah, it took me 3 years to write the book.
Okay, so when the officer slammed your head against the elevator wall, what made him do that? Did you say anything or
I'm only
um
saying I'm only saying to you what this conversation was. We
mm,
probably had a little few more words going on, but that doesn't warrant you to disable, to make a person disabled because I am disabled. I
okay.
battled post concussion, and I never thought that something so simple as that would turn into life changing, just a life changing everything. I was on 8 medications and accidentally overdosed twice, and I was also on psych ward. But by grace, God, counseling, and I'm a big fan of trying to get people to go to counseling. I was one that said I would never go to counseling. I remember exactly who I was talking to. I was talking to a school teacher, and I told her
Mm,
I'll never go to counseling. So I just recently stopped going to counseling. It's been 11 years now.
well, mental health is definitely real. It's in
Absolutely.
everybody's community, and back then it was like a stigma on mental health, but now it's so broad that you have more and more people will go to mental health. Um,
Exactly.
but back then it was like it was something that people were ashamed of going to
But what I
see.
used to hear when I was a child was if you go to counseling, you're crazy. And
Right.
you just grow up hearing that and just say, people saying I ain't going down there. I don't want people to know my business. But my whole thing with adults, if you don't have to tell a soul that you're going, and our community really need to wake up as far as going to counseling. There's nothing wrong with going to counseling. So to me, what has happened is a lot of people went through childhood trauma, and then now in their adulthood, it's kind of coming out in the behavior, if that makes sense.
It is. And a lot of people have behavior problems and they're not knowing why. And a lot of it stems from childhood trauma.
Right. But you
And a
know
lot,
what? I'm with a lot of students, I'm with a lot of college students, and more every week I'm hearing a college student saying, "Hey, I'm going to counseling now," and I tell them that I am so proud of them. And then I give them little tips and things that I know about going to counseling. Like me and this lady had a conversation last week, and she said that her son had went to counseling, but he didn't like the counselor. And so what I told her was yes, because going to counseling is like being in a relationship with somebody. And if a person is not satisfied with counseling, then the best thing to do is find another one that they can mesh with. MESH,
mhm.
mesh.
Well, yes, you want to try to find a counselor that you can communicate with, somebody that's positive, definitely, um,
Right.
that can relate to what you're going through in order to help you get through it.
Yeah, because I've had counselors that I've done 2 sessions with counselors. I'm like, nah, we don't match.
We don't have
So
a,
it's
yeah,
yeah,
it's,
it's just
yeah.
I'm sorry.
I say when you're going to counseling, you want somebody that you could communicate with because it turns into more of, can I trust you? Do I feel safe uh, talking about my issues with you?
Right.
And then you start to bond some type of relationship in order for the patient to be able to start to heal. They've got
You're
to have,
absolutely right.
they got to have somebody that they feel they can trust.
That's what it's about. Trust.
hmm Trust and loyalty. Can I trust you? Do I feel safe? And then
Mm-hmm.
now people are opening up more to counselors because they want to get it off their chest. You know, when we were growing up, a lot of people probably took on that role of stuffing stuff. I say stuffing, and then it comes out in a behavior issue. We want to know
Exactly.
even children have behavior problems in school, but you don't know what they've been through. And they keep it to themselves and they keep it bottled up inside instead of bringing it out and having the conversation as what really happened.
Well, it's one of the best things, even though the circumstances was what it was what it was. It's
hmm
one of the best things in my life that changed my life.
hmm Well, I'm glad to hear that. Um, and I'm sorry that happened to you, being incarcerated for how long were you there?
I was there overnight.
Okay. But it was just the fact of what they did while you was in
Right.
the police officers.
Yeah, right. I was there overnight because the service that we had for telephones, I couldn't call home, and I didn't take any money with me because it was a simple traffic charge. I never thought they would hold me on a simple traffic charge, so I didn't take any money with me. I just thought that maybe I'd be signed. They'll let me sign myself back out.
hmm
So it was the next morning when I got out and went to the hospital.
And at the hospital, what did they discover?
They did an MRI, and an MRI came back head injury.
And so did they take any responsibility for what they did?
Excuse me. No.
So back then, people sort of stuffed it as what had happened to you.
Right.
Wow. Back then, a lot of people kept a lot of things to themselves because they didn't know how to tell somebody. Um, we wasn't taught to talk back then. Because I can remember growing up and you stay in a child's place and you don't open your mouth. And so you bring that on into adulthood and you experience things that you're afraid to talk about because you've been raised not to talk. In so many words, our parents did that, not knowing the impact it has in adulthood. And so now we're telling our children, you need to speak out. If it's something wrong, you need to tell. But back then,
Mm-hmm.
our parents didn't teach us that. And the reason they didn't is because they didn't know how. And so it's like a pattern that repeats itself. They parents never allowed
Absolutely.
them to speak out. So then they never allowed us to speak out. And then we bring it on into our children that we don't allow them to speak out. But now things are getting better with the communication with our children so that we're teaching them now, I need for you to tell me if something's wrong.
Right.
So that's the big difference that I see in growing up now. That make children more open to tell. So what I'm gonna do, I see that you wrote a song, and how long have you been singing before we play it? We're gonna play her music. Uh,
I've been singing since I was 5 years old. I remember going into a store called Mason's. It was a department store where my mother worked at, and this lady put me on the microphone in the store, and I started singing. I was like, "Whoa!" But I've been singing for 49 years, and I've been writing since age 14. I've been writing songs. I meant to say since age. I mean, for 40 years now.
oh wow, that is great. All right, let me see if I can. I want to share that, and the name of it is "Power Over Pain."
I went down to the river to lay my own life down. Then I heard my grandmother's voice. She said, child, my sweet child. God will never leave you nor forsake you. God is gonna give you strength to go through. All you have to do is trust and believe. That's what's gonna set your hurt so free. God will never leave you nor forsake you. God is gonna give you strength to go through. All you have to do is trust and believe. That's what's gonna set your hurt so free. When the pain, when the pain, when the pain, when the pain down inside, it's so deep down inside, and you don't know what else to do. Woo, woo, woo. Other than cry.
Oh wow, that was absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
I mean, absolutely beautiful. So you want to give us
Thank
a
you.
little bit more feedback because you made your song and it relates to the book that you wrote, or did you write the book first and then the song?
That's a good question. I wrote the book and then I wrote the song. But actually, when I said I was going down to the river to lay my life down, I actually meant that. I meant that. I mean, that's exactly what I had planned to do. And I told you I was on that floor. So,
Hmm.
when I told the doctor that, he was like, "You're not going home." But that song come from a lot of pain, a lot of healing, a lot of trauma. Um, and so yeah, that song was specifically wrote for my book, Power Over Pain 100 Healing and Motivational Quotes.
And so in this book, what do you have a bunch of healing quotes or different? What's all in the book?
They're motivational and healing quotes. Um, Actually, Yahoo published an article about my book saying that it's one of 2023's must reads, and I'm very appreciative for that happening. Um, so I just hope that it touched everybody who read the book or purchased the book.
And so, what are some of the places that we can get the book from? You said what, Amazon and
Amazon, Barnes and Nobles. I even saw it on eBay. I was like, what? Yeah, I was like, how did this get here? But when God is working, sometimes you don't need to ask why. Just go with the
correct.
flow.
Just go with the flow.
Right. And for everybody that own Audible, that has Audible, you can get it on Audible as well.
Okay, so it's different types of quotes in it, motivational quotes to help people that are dealing with some type of pain or have been
Right.
through some type of tragedy.
Right.
Um,
Yes.
or anybody that just wanted to know a little bit more about her and her book and some of the things that she has experienced.
And
Uh,
it's a quick read. You can finish reading this book like in 20-25 minutes. Get your cup of coffee in the morning and let that be your pick a what they call a pick a quicker upper.
mhm. Well, I would love to read the book. I have not read the book, but that's one of my goals. Six is one of the most read books, or is trying to become that. I do. I would love to read your book. Um, because it'll help me know, exactly what you went through. Sometimes you gotta put yourself in somebody else's shoes in order to realize that what people really go through uh, and how they come back from it. Because you became powerful after so much pain that you got stronger.
Absolutely. I got stronger with my mind. My body might not cooperate all the time, but I got stronger in my mind. Um, One lady had told me when she saw me, I think she seen me when it first happened to me, and then she saw me a little bit later. She was like, "Tawana," and I know she didn't mean no harm when she said it. She said, "Tawana, last time I saw you look like death." I was like, "Oh my god." So
Hmm.
it took a lot of coming back and fighting for this. It was a horrible thing that happened. The officer, he is no longer working there, so that's a good thing.
Correct.
So nobody else won't get hurt.
But that was very positive. You know, we have good officers, but sometimes you're gonna run into a bad officer uh, every now and then. It's like you got the bad. Sometimes the good have to suffer with the bad. But there are some great police officers out here, but then we do run into some that are not so good.
Yeah, and believe it or not, through me going to counseling, I've actually learned how to forgive this person because
Hmm.
it was a seed that he sowed. I believe in karma, so he have to deal with that. And a lot of people, when I tell them my story, they get angry. And one of the first things I tell people: don't be angry. I'm still here. It happened. I'm gonna make the best of this. I'm gonna make something positive and beautiful out of this. But a lot of people, when they see that video, they're like, "Wow." But anyways, I made it through with God's help and my family, and I'm grateful.
And we're gonna come back next week and play that. Hopefully, what next Monday and
Yes,
around this same time, and we're gonna play that, and we're gonna elaborate on the video and tie it into your book. That's what made you write the book, Power Over Pain.
I had to take power over pain
So, what made you choose your title?
because I felt powerless. I mean, I didn't want to do anything. I just was laying around and just moping. Like this lady told me, stop saying woe is me. I didn't want to be here. I didn't want it to exist anymore. But then I started like shaking myself, saying, this is not who you are. I was a mortgage loan officer for 15 years. Um, so it was like, you need to get up, and for your family, you need to get up. You need to get it together. So that's how I came up with power over pain, because I had to take power over pain.
Right. Well, it's good to have you. I had a wonderful time, and our time is going to end. But I do want to invite everybody back to hear her story next week, because it's very powerful.
Wait till y'all hear what happened in court.
Yeah, because we're going to have a good time elaborating more on that. All right, and here we go. Let's see. All right. What we're going to do is leave your comments. I definitely appreciate it. Hit the like and subscribe button. I would definitely appreciate that as well. And tell me what your thoughts on about Tawana and her book, um, and the song that I played for people to hear. One of her songs. She does have another song out, and probably next week I'm gonna play the other song on her next interview. But I want to thank you, Tawana, for coming on. I think your book seems to be very powerful. It seems to be motivating. Uh, and I hope everybody that's listening will go and get a copy and support her business and learn a little bit more about power over pain, because we all experience some type of pain in our lives that we need to take power over. Um, but we all fall short and we all can come back from that. Um, so I would encourage everybody to go out and get her book, um, and read it and support her and leave your comments. Let me know what you think. All right. Thank you. And everybody have a great day. Thank you, Tawana.
You're welcome.